when you take a look at this trade, who won on this side? Is it the Dallas Mavericks or is it the Lakers?
It's the Dallas Mavericks.
Why are you the way that you are?
The Dallas Mavericks will win the NBA championship.
I don't think so.
If Anthony Davis is healthy, if Anthony Davis plays 65 to 70 games, the Dallas Mavericks, they're the second best, in my opinion, they're the second best team in the Western Conference.
5 minutes later.
Breaking news out of the NBA, the Mavericks are expected to fire general manager Nico Harrison at 10 a.m. Central Time.
When it comes to sneaky dark horse teams in the Western Conference, one of the popular picks this year was, of course, the Dallas Mavericks. As looking at Dallas on paper, tons of talent potential and the makings of a top 8 team. And if you turned off injuries, this team very easily will be a top 5 seed in the Western Conference. Now, here's the drawback. Injuries do exist, and your main superstar, main centerpiece is, of course, Anthony Davis. And looking at AD the player, while great, only a matter of time until he gets hurt and the wheels fall off.
And, we think defense wins championships, and we're bringing in one of the best two-way players in the league.
Oh, no.
Uh-oh. They're already without Daniel Gafford and Derek Lively, and now Anthony Davis walking off the court. So these are the angles.
For someone like Davis, overall skill, talent, their general greatness has never been in question. This guy's big-time question mark is his health and injury concerns. And looking at the Mavericks, they knew this going into the Anthony Davis business, as Davis right now is his mid-30s, approaching year 15. Anthony Davis, even in his prime, was never the healthiest superstar player, most reliable player. And in terms of elevating teams that were subpar in talent, Davis in New Orleans very rarely, if ever, did that. Davis in Dallas, a decade older, more injury prone, more miles on his body, this guy definitively isn't the man and isn't the guy to build your team around at this point in his career. As looking at Davis' past couple of seasons, outside of one outlier year where he played 76 games, he's missing 25, 30, even half the season. Anthony Davis, while great, isn't healthy enough to be the man of a team and a championship caliber team. And looking at someone like Nico Harrison, him knowing that beforehand makes the Luka Doncic trade even that more egregious.
Now, the full details of the trade are as follows. The Lakers get Luka, Maxi Kleber, and Markieff Morris. Dallas gets Anthony Davis, Max Christie, and LA's 2029 first-round pick. They had another first.
Now, when it comes to Nico Harrison's roster, the team he's built, some obvious flaws and problems you can spot off the bat. Looking at their 3 old veterans, it's Anthony Davis, Kyrie, and Klay Thompson. All those guys, 30+ years old and very injury prone. Now look at the second set of players. Cooper Flag, Lively, and Max Christie. All those guys are under 23. So right here looking at Dallas, you have 2 different worlds, 2 different timelines trying to coexist. If you're competing for a championship, just even competing for the playoffs, that rarely, if ever, works. If I was a Mavericks fan, seeing Davis hurt already, Kyrie being out the entire season, and Klay Thompson being a shell of himself, I'd say scrap that era, move on to the Cooper Flag era, the under 23 guys. As looking at NBA history, here's 2 truths we see in every era. Older NBA teams, their superstars, are 30+, rarely, if ever, win. That's one truth. Now here's the second. When you try to straddle 2 eras, that works even less.
The leadership that we have is really elite, and you'll see next year when our team comes back, we're going to be competing for a championship.
Washington straight line drive.
And so the Pelicans. Black turns down the 3. Oh! Klay Thompson lost it. So at this point, the mission is obvious.
Fire Nico! Fire Nico! Fire Nico!
Now, once again, looking at Dallas' old big 3 of Kyrie, Klay, and Anthony Davis, the one guy I would keep is Kyrie Irving. The one guy I'd cut, is Klay Thompson, and the one guy I'd trade is Anthony Davis. And you might say, pump the brakes, you're overreacting. Honestly, I don't think so. For someone like Anthony Davis right now, his trade value, his value to the entire league is still relatively high. This guy by year's end, next year, and the year after that, his overall value is going to be in the toilet, as Davis in 2028 is going to be 34 going on 35. And looking at that contract, it's not that friendly. This year, 54. The next year, 58. After that, 63. Davis in 2027 and 2028 will be a top 5 contract in the NBA. And once again, looking at that age, the amount of miles on him, Davis at that point will be far from a top 5 player, and heck, even far from a top 15 player. So what do you do right now? You cut bait, let Davis go, get young guys back in return, and move on to the Cooper Flagg era.
It's not complicated.
Look, for someone like Cooper Flagg, never going to be Luka 2.0 or fill that void. We're looking at his potential, what he could be, still a great player, potentially a multi-time All-Star. And here's the added layer. For a team like Dallas, their investment in Davis from a fan perspective really isn't there. Anthony Davis, he's been a Pelican, a Laker, and now a Maverick. This guy honestly has no real home. And in Dallas, he's not really one of them. What I compare him to is a big man version of Kawhi Leonard. I was looking at Kawhi, also a hired gun, been on multiple teams, and is very, very injury prone. And what's the common through line between Kawhi teams and Anthony Davis teams? Tons of potential, hype, and on paper, they look fantastic. But in play, it always crumbles. And for the Clippers, Kawhi the past 3 years, I'd even say 4 years, has been an anchor holding them back. If you keep Anthony Davis through 2028, what you're going to see is Kawhi 2.0 in Dallas.
5 the other night in their last game against Minnesota. Ball in, Davis, a blow by, and
2 guys went after it.
Davis again.
12 seconds later.
They're already without Daniel Gafford and Derek Lively, and now Anthony Davis walking off the court.
Anthony Davis in Dallas, with a possible 42 games played, which is half a season, he's played 14. And out of those 14, twice he's left early with injury. So really Davis over 42 games has played 12 complete games in a Mavericks uniform. And until this day, never played 5 straight games with the Dallas Mavericks. That right there is Kawhi-esque. And speaking of Kawhi Leonard, don't fall for the trap. When Davis comes back, he looks good, has a 34-point double-double, he's playing phenomenal defense. Don't fall for it, don't buy the hype. 3 games later, this dude will be hurt, injured, and out of the lineup. If you want an occasional really good game, a glimmer of hope potential, keep Anthony Davis. If you want long-term success, to hopefully build a championship team, you dump Davis right now when his value is still pretty high.
Come on. Do it. Do it!
So that right there is in the video, and I'll say one last thing. This Mavericks team's biggest problem post-Luka trade is they have 1 foot in the veteran era and 1 foot in the youth movement era. At some point, you gotta pick one. And for me, it's pretty obvious. The route they should go down is the youth movement plus Kyrie. Who you should dump and trade are Klay Thompson and Anthony Davis. Yes, might be harsh and cutthroat, but it's the NBA and it's a business. If Dallas wants to win and be successful in the future, that's your path to doing so, and it's fairly obvious. As always, thank you guys for watching, hope you enjoyed it. I'll see you next time.